There is a seismic shift happening in women's professional tennis right now that almost nobody is highlighting. It is a quiet but powerful evolution, much like that heavy stillness in the air right before a storm breaks. If you get caught up in the usual headlines, you will miss the exact moment this becomes impossible to ignore. I'm focusing on Alexandra Eala, the 20-year-old phenom from the Philippines coming off a massive hardcourt run. She just landed in Europe and is stepping onto the clay in Linz, Austria, ready to make a statement. We are analyzing her round 1 clash at the 2026 Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open. To celebrate 35 years, they replaced the hardcourts with 100 tons of imported red clay. They hold 100 tons of dirt into the city center. That is a massive tactical shift for everyone. It is a bold declaration, and the player walking onto that fresh surface was practically engineered for this stage. Eala enters as the 6th seed against Julia Grabher, a 29-year-old Austrian veteran who knows this stadium perfectly. Grabher has the local support and the experience to orchestrate an emotionally charged upset early in the season. On paper, this looks like a trap for a young star home turf seasoned rival and high stakes. But a closer look at the data and Alex's growth over the past 2 months reveals a different story. Look at the Sunshine, Double Indian Wells and Miami. Those are the brutal arenas where the pretenders are exposed. These brackets are absolute meat grinders filled with top 20 talent and veteran Grand Slam champions. These are the toughest draws in the sport, but Alex did not just survive, she thrived against the elite. She powered her way into the round of 16 at both major events back-to-back without breaking a sweat. She played dominant physical tennis against veterans who were pros before she even started school. That is no accident. That is a superstar finding her gear, but the move to clay is what makes this story truly compelling. Hardcourts are not even her strongest surface. Alexandra Eala was literally raised on the red dirt of Mallorca. Years spent at the Rafael Nadal Academy shaped her. That environment does not just teach tennis, it breeds warriors. It trains you to endure 20-shot rallies and maintain total composure while constructing points with tactical, clinical precision. The elite footwork and heavy topspin are foundational to her game, making the clay's bounce a lethal offensive weapon. People calling this a transition are wrong. She is not adapting to the clay. She's finally returning home. That shift changes the entire dynamic. Now let's look at Julia Grabher because she's a serious threat. She's currently ranked 87 globally and reached a career high of 54 just a few years ago. She's a tour veteran who handles pressure well and possesses a deep understanding of clay court tactics. She spent the early season grinding through clay events in Turkey specifically to prepare for this European swing. That shows her hunger. She's not just showing up, she's fully prepared for a high-stakes battle. She gets to compete in front of her home fans, an advantage that can completely change a match's momentum. The energy at a tournament when a local favorite is on court is something you can feel instantly. The atmosphere shifts. Every mistake Eala makes will be met with a massive roar from the Austrian crowd. Every winner Grabher hits will make the design center explode like it is the final of a major. That energy will carry her through the tough sets, making every single service game feel like a grueling fight. Grabher's strategy is clear. She will not try to outpower Eala from the baseline because she would lose. Instead, she will extend points and use tactical variety, hoping the crowd's pressure breaks Alex down mentally. She's betting that the pressure of the moment will eventually cause the 20-year-old to start second-guessing herself. It is a smart veteran move that has successfully derailed many rising stars in these high-pressure environments before. But that plan hits a wall because Alex is not a typical rookie. She proved herself at Indian Wells. She handled the chaotic noise of Miami perfectly. Training under Nadal's banner creates an ice-cold level of discipline. She does not ignore the noise. She has been trained to use it to sharpen her own focus. She knows how to breathe through the tension and focus entirely on the next ball, ignoring the scoreboard. The technical breakdown is fascinating. When Alex rips a forehand on clay, the ball does not just land, it launches. Her lefty spin and high kick mean Grabher will be dealing with difficult shoulder-high balls all day long. That is physically exhausting. It wears down an opponent's spirit in a way that is hard to describe. You cannot just block those shots, you have to work twice as hard just to stay in the point. Every single yard of that baseline is a battlefield. The moment Grabher gets pulled out wide, gasping for air and out of place, Alex is going to charge into the court and bury a winner. She doesn't just sit around praying for a miracle, she carves one out of the dirt herself. She grinds her opponent down until they crack, then pounces without a second of doubt. That mix of ice-cold patience and explosive fire is terrifyingly rare at her age. It is exactly what turns athletes into icons. Here is the play-by-play. These opening games are going to be absolute fireworks. Grabher will feed off that home turf energy while Alex has to weather the storm and find her footing early. That is the script. But midway through that opening set, when Alex starts unloading those heavy, punishing forehands, once Grabher is forced to sprint for balls she has no business reaching, you will see the momentum flip. You can feel the oxygen leave the stadium. There is a specific heartbeat in a match where a player realizes they are outclassed and the fans go silent. I see that shift happening fast. Once Alex takes control and pushes her back, there is zero room for a comeback. A break of serve won't faze her. Closing out the set won't make her hands shake. She's going to end this exactly how she has been crushing opponents all season long, with a lethal surgical precision that is honestly pretty scary for someone so young. Let's look at the bigger picture here. Alex is entering as the 6th seed in a 28-player bracket. If the cards fall right, she is staring down a second-round war with Jelena Ostapenko. We are talking about the former French Open queen, a woman who deletes the ball with a violent power few can even touch. That is the kind of heavy hitter that sends unprepared players packing their bags. But Alex isn't blinking. She wants this. She's coming off massive runs in Miami and Indian Wells, and she's hungry for more. Sure, it boosts her rank, but more importantly, it cements her reputation as a giant killer. It is a warning shot to every woman in the locker room, a signal that has been screaming louder and louder lately. Forget the rising star label. Forget the heartwarming story about a girl from the Philippines chasing a dream. That book is closed. She's a certified top 10 threat, and anyone who hasn't realized that is going to learn the hard way on the European clay. Julia Grabher has the home crowd and the veteran experience. On paper, she has every reason to be confident. But here is the truth. Alex Eala was born for the clay. She has been surviving the hard courts just to get to this moment. The dirt is red, the bounce is high, and the student of the greatest clay king in history is about to go to work. 2 sets, dominant and clean. Then she marches into the next round with all the momentum in the world for a blockbuster showdown. Clay season is officially open and Alex is the main event. Tell me, can the home crowd actually break her focus? Or is this the exact stage she has been waiting for all year? If she gets past this and hits Ostapenko, who are you taking? Give me your picks in the comments. I read everything. If you're hyped for this run, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Hit subscribe to follow every step of this journey. This is only the beginning.